Move to approve.
Second. Any discussion?
Second.
All, I did. Mr. Jones, I think.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Next item, public comments.
Sure, yeah, I just want to remind everyone in the crowd and on the board, there's a 2-minute limit on public comment. I'll take the time. This is not a Q&A or a back and forth. This is an opportunity for the public to let the boards know their thoughts. We're just not able to answer questions on the fly, so, yes.
I have
Mr.
one question. We allowed at a previous meeting a gentleman to discuss a water issue, a sewer issue that he had for longer than 2 minutes.
You can't extend someone's time. The technical way you're supposed to do that would be a motion and second by someone on the board to extend it by another 2 minutes. We can do that if you all like, but it needs a motion and second.
I just wanted to make sure that there was.
That's under the rules of Robert's Rules of Order. So.
Okay, perfect, thanks.
And there should be a green X up there on the floor. If you've got a comment, please come forward and state your name and address.
I want to give you a copy of the only thing, the statement that I sent. My name is Marcia Francis, and I have lived here all my life. I was raised here. In those days, there was a skating rink, the movie theater, the bowling alley. It was really nice. And it has changed over the years, and I'm very sad about that. But my dad, Dallas Wagner, was on the Aldermen's board. He was a truck driver, he built 6 houses. So we are established in this town. I love Buckner, it's my home. Okay, so I graduated in '69, and I went to work for the Board of Sage School District because I loved Buckner, and I loved the Fort. I have 5 children. They went through the school district. I have 17 grandchildren. 11 of them have went through, and some are still going through. 2 graduate this year. I said all that so that you know I'm just not up here talking. I have a point to this, and the subject is our police department. We have had such a big turnover, and it's not okay. It's not changed. This isn't something that's come up that's new. This is something that's been going on for years and years, and I know it has. And I'm just here not to give any answers because I don't have any answers, but just as an observation that I've made. Chief Hacker, he also graduated with me in '69, and I know he has a heart for this area. He has trained his officers, he's trained other officers all around the surrounding area. I have 2 that go to church with me, and they are awesome men. And he continues to train. He's just hired a couple more, and he's continuing to train them. And we all know about the drugs houses that are going around town. This isn't anything new either.
Pardon me, ma'am. Your 2 minutes is up.
Can I get 2 more
I
minutes?
move to approve to allow 2 more minutes.
I second it.
Thank you.
Is there, hold on. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Okay, but there's a procedure that you have to follow. And you can't make an arrest and make it stick if you don't do that. You can't do that like that. It takes time to do these things. It takes time to do anything. The paperwork is endless. And Hacker does it well, Chief Hacker, sir. His first week here, he knows not only was the paperwork not done right, but it wasn't followed up on. And he made that right, and the case goes to court this month. The suicides, the first 2 months he was here, the suicides. I saw the tears in his eyes as he said there were suicides that he had to go to. He was sorry about the lives that were lost. It's been said that he's out of uniform sometimes. Well, so what? If he was doing his job, he still carries his badge. If that's the worst thing that he does, so what? He can do his job in his pajamas for all I care. I'm sorry. Okay. These officers that we have right now are approachable. And if you have questions, you can go to them. You can ask them. If you have complaints, you can even go to them You don't have to go behind their backs or anything and say anything. You know, we need to be praying. We call ourselves Christians. I call myself a Christian. We need to be praying for our police department. We need to be praying for our town. We need to be praying for our kids. I mean, it didn't get this way overnight, and it's not going to get better overnight. And not everybody is going to please everybody. It just isn't going to happen. And not everybody is going to like you. But I can tell you, I know that I know that I know. That man right there would give his life for anybody in this room. And I feel safe when I'm around him. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
My name is Todd Boyer. I'm not currently a resident. I own a business that I run the fireworks stand out of the car wash. I'm just seeing if I can get approval to run my business there this season coming up.
You'll need to get with Joe.
We can try to next agenda.
Okay. Casey told me to come today.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, just give me,
Okay.
I'm gonna give me everything on Monday and I'll get on the next agenda.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is April Cortego. I reside at 805 Homeland Street. I've seen some of you guys before. We have an issue in our neighborhood. I've talked to Willie about it. I've emailed our police chief about it. Hopefully he's gotten that email. We have a house that has been running drugs behind my house, up our streets, and I should be able to feel safe walking my dog at night, and I don't anymore. I'm gonna have to carry a mace and a horn because these guys are dressed in all black and they're wearing masks. We have all of this on camera. Like, this happened last summer, it was taken care of, now it's occurring again. We don't want this in our neighborhood. We have the street that we live on, we have several kids, small children. They drop something as they're going through the field, and one of those little kids pick that up, that could be very deadly for them. Even an adult could pick that up, and it could be very deadly for them. I don't want that for my neighborhood, I don't want that for my community. That's even in our town right now. I don't want that at all. So in my email, I requested that if we could get more patrols in our neighborhood, that would be great. I also requested that we would do whatever we needed to do. I know we have a DARE program in our elementary school, and we would like to try to get a sign as a neighborhood watch, because we're not gonna stand for it in our neighborhood. And that's where we stand as a neighborhood in whole. So, thank you for your time.
All right. I just want to say hi. How you guys doing? I'm not actually stepped up here, but I moved here during the pandemic. If you ever tried to buy a house during the pandemic, it was a nightmare. Well, I actually live at 800 Homeland, and living there first year was great. And then after that, people moved out. Other people moved into that house, the same house that was.
What's your name, please?
Jason Smith.
Thank you.
Yeah, sorry, girl. Moving in, great first year. Then when they moved in the house that we were just discussing, late at night, from about 5 o'clock till about 2 in the morning, they'll come out with backpacks, they'll wait for anybody, and they'll book it down the road, through the field. I have video of it. And then they come back about an hour and a half later, no backpacks. Like, they go camping? And then we'd find knives, we'd find all kinds of stuff out there. Little kids playing in the yard, they'd be cutting through yards and stuff. And it's different, a couple different people, but it's still the same owner of the house. And so they're rotating. I don't know how many people they could probably have squatting there, but it's pretty serious situation, and my daughter can't sleep with the window open because I'll literally cut through my yard. I literally had a guy cutting through my yard, my daughter's window's right here, and he's just like walking like this. He's just messed up out of his mind. And I don't believe that individual's there anymore, but the new people they got in there are pretty interesting. But I know there's been a change into the guard with the police and everything, so I know that, I just want everybody to be aware that this is going on and we gotta do something. And I know Jean Peters Baker is definitely not the easiest person to get attention from, so we have tried. She doesn't like email or phones or anything of that sort. So I can understand probably the stress you guys go through. So, but I just wanted that to be clear that we got that problem, and they're running from one house in our neighborhood to the other house in the other.
Pardon me, sir, your 2 minutes are up.
Oh, cool.
Hey, is there any way I can ask a question? Have you ever tried stopping these guys and be like, hey, what's in the backpack? Or hey,
Oh, yeah.
buddy, what's your
Oh, yeah.
name? Or like,
Yeah,
what are you
and
doing
they
here?
run right back to the garage. They run right back to the
I was
garage.
just wondering because
Sir,
that would probably
yeah.
help me.
Gentlemen, yeah, let's keep, so your 2 minutes is up. The board can extend your 2 minutes if you'd like. You can take a motion and second to do so.
Would you like 2 more minutes?
That's pretty much it, guys. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely. Yeah.
Hello, my name is Betty Hall. I am the store director at Buckner Thriftway. Most of you know me, several of you know me. I have a list of some dates that I want you to be aware of. December 24th, we had a gentleman in there threatening to come and shoot up the store. Police were called. Nobody ever followed up at all. January 12th, the police were called to somebody sneaking in and out of a business in our shopping center. Nobody followed up. Somewhere between February and March, the police were called to a bag of meth that was found in the parking lot. No one followed up. December 29th, I called on my bread guy who was high on drugs and had a gun in his car. You responded. He was brought down, booked, released a few hours later. We were unaware of that, to which he came into the store really irrational because we had his keys. The latest one, April 16th, this Sunday, there was a gentleman sleeping on our bench. Myself, Tony, went out and I politely asked him to go. We've had too many issues. I've had somebody defecate in a storage shed at the store. I've had people try to light fires right there in the corner of Subway. I don't know if they're trying to stay warm. I don't know if they're cooking. I don't know what they're doing. I asked this gentleman to leave, to which he responded, well, isn't this public property? Tony responded, no. And he said, I can see why you effing and I bitch.
Pardon me, your 2 minutes are up.
Move to give her 2 more minutes.
Second.
So
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
he was very disgruntled. It went back and forth. I called 911 at 8:01. At 8:50, 49 minutes later, I got a Jackson County officer drive through my parking lot. He told me that there was no police on duty. He came all the way from Greenwood. In 49 minutes, what could have happened? I understand that you're short-staffed. I get that, I promise. I'm short-staffed. I know you're doing all that you can do. Yes, Chief Hacker made it up there at 9:26. At 9:26. But we can't just not have somebody on duty. This man could have very easily slipped into somebody's garage, onto somebody's porch. Their 14-year-old daughter could have been taking her dog out for a walk, and she could have been raped. He could have, any of my customers who tend to be elderly, what could have happened to them? I mean, it's serious. And I feel like we're getting nowhere. I understand that we're short-staffed, I get it. But there has to be a plan in place. I've had a gentleman on my bench all afternoon. I can't ask him to leave because what's gonna happen? Nothing. We don't do anything. Do we set up a homeless camp behind the store? I mean, I'm just not sure anymore. And it's frustrating. It's so frustrating. And there's no answers from anyone. So that's my concern. I have kids. I may not live in Buckner, but I've been in Buckner for 15 years at that grocery store. I've seen a lot of stuff. You can say what you want about the police. They're coming in a little bit more now, but we
Pardon
need to
me.
see them more.
Second, 2 minutes are up.
Motion for 2 more minutes.
Second.
I object. I think we have the essence of the message.
I got it across, thank
You
you.
can't have the board vote. I don't know how that works, that's why I was asking. But the mayor just vetoed it,
The mayor can veto, which he did.
Anyone else? Hearing none, we'll move forward on the agenda. Next up is the committee reports. If you look through your packet, Joe did include the last 6 months financials. You'll see overall things are continuing to trend largely favorable. In the general fund, we've had nice collections. Unfortunately, we've also had quite a few expenditures, but it's all coming out of the general fund, so it's letting some of the others get built up. And I think the street fund is around 150,000, so that should leave us in a good position whenever the folks are ready to start on East Jefferson. We should be ready to roll on that. Public health and safety. Anything, Chief? Or Lieutenant?
I gave you all my paperwork.
Okay, the chief did give me some statistics from just the prior year, first quarter of last year versus this year. I was really surprised. I mean, you figure a year ago we were running about 8 cops, I think 7 or 8. This year we're doing it with about 4, I think 4 to 5. Last year we had 120 occurrences is what they're called on this report. I don't know. This year we're at 115, so we're only down 5, but doing it with substantially less staff. Did see it look like, yes, sir.
Does that include when there's not, if the Jackson County has to respond? Because I know there's been lots of gaps.
I can answer that. No, it does not. I talked to them today and they didn't have the stats for it just yet.
Okay.
So if you would like them, you can give them for the next meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, look, yeah, I mean, the one thing that was kind of noticed was there was twice as many domestic assaults this year as there was last year in the same period. Looks like there was a little less motor vehicle stuff, but again, I don't know whether we're better drivers or less enforcement, but either way, I mean, it was very comparable as far as the number of occurrences, so just so folks know. Next up, Park Board.
Yes, we have discussed and approved hiring a part-time employee in the park to do some much-needed maintenance. And we would just like to get the Board of Aldermen's approval to go ahead and hire somebody.
Okay, do we have the rate and hours?
It could be 2 to 3 days a week or as needed, a trial basis in the beginning to see how it works out. Probably, I don't want to say what the pay is going to be, but it will be 15,000 max for the year.
Mr. Mayor, is it a 1099 employee?
Depends on how many hours they work, but most likely.
And that's in the,
Oh, no, I mean, if they're an employee, they're an employee. That's why it's a
so where does
contract.
that pay come from?
He'll come out of the Park Board operations department. You might,
Set it up for the general fund.
no, it'd be Park Board operations.
Yeah.
And they would handle the mowing and the
No.
weeding? No, okay, just the maintenance?
Just
maintenance,
maintenance.
okay.
Small jobs.
I got you, yeah, okay, we talked, okay. Yep.
Been a lot of them.
Is there a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
I'll second it.
Any other discussion?
Oh, well, I got a question. Why wouldn't they mow? This is,
Why wouldn't they mow?
yeah,
Well, the reason we're doing the maintenance, previously, Public Works did a lot of the maintenance. Like if something was wrong with the bathroom, we'd call them, they'd go down and fix the toilet or the sink. Public Works has always done the mowing and weed eating. They've always taken care of the park. We've been having problems with that for some time. So since we have the money in our account, we have decided to go ahead and get some work done because things aren't getting done and they haven't been for several years. So we thought that would be a good thing.
well, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, I was just curious. 'Cause I
Well,
know-
the funding,
Yeah.
we're talking, we got an estimate a couple of years ago, it was gonna be like $40,000 to mow. So that's a big chunk out of the account.
Like, we've got swing sets we've been trying to
Get
get
rid of.
fixed. And it just, Public Works doesn't have time to do it. Or can't find the tools or this or that, you know, there's so many small jobs that we just need done that just Public Works doesn't have time for, and as volunteers, it's kind of hard to get to too.
Right.
I mean, you know that we're getting ready to spend a good chunk of our money towards the spray park.
That was the question I had, is there any update on where we are on?
I just asked yesterday.
Yeah.
They said that they went down to the park, right?
Yeah, survey's been done, they are finalizing the design plan of it right now. They are working on a cost estimate to do the new restroom, that's gonna be the restroom / pump room, you know, that holds all the equipment. They're trying to determine whether it's gonna be prefab or block, and they hope to have it by the next month, in the next month.
So if all goes well, is there still an expectation that we might get this open this summer?
Yeah.
We hope so.
And I'm not.
That's what we want.
No,
We want it,
great.
but-
Yeah.
Back on the maintenance side of things, I'm just gonna clarify, I think for Curtis. So the part-timer will handle all the maintenance, so that leaves Public Works more time to be able to get the mowing and stuff done. That's why the maintenance, be it done by somebody else, gets stuff done, and then the mowing gets done.
Yeah, because like we have a lot of like woodwork that needs replaced, we need things painted, we need the swings put up.
Yeah.
The bathroom, there's always things going wrong with that, like I said, the toilets and the sink. Weeds in the playground, I mean, I could go on and on and on. There's a lot to cover down there. We'd just like to get it back up and looking good and running good again.
Thank you. Yeah.
Anything else? Thank you. Planning and zoning?
Did we need to
We need to
approve?
approve that employee.
We did.
Okay, yeah, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
I'm sorry.
Planning and zoning?
No,
Public Works?
I just want everybody to be aware of, at the late May, they're gonna start the Jefferson City project. And also, potholes are still on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'm gonna get those caught up if the weather's provided. And we're also working on the meters to get them situated again too. So what was told to us is that Zinner was having problems with their computer systems. So whenever they get back up, they're gonna let us know so we can figure out what's going on with our meters.
How many meters do we have left, JD?
We had right about, what, 80? So, yeah, we're getting down there.
And I believe it was the story that Zinner got hacked or something.
Yeah, Zinner got hacked.
Compromised.
Yeah.
So the whole side's shut down, which is what's stopping us from doing anything.
Yeah.
It's all up to this side. So they got their IT guys working on it. Luckily, it's still in the office.
That's all I have.
Thanks, sir. Fairs and festivals?
We have the new officer here, if you guys would like to meet. He just came in, could we introduce him?
Sure. Kevin
Kevin, please, come up. Gonna put you on the spot. Just stand here, the X marks the spot over there. This is our new employee, we just hired him this week. Would you mind telling the board a little bit about your background?
So, my name's Kevin Harden. I'm an ex-professional baseball player. I got drafted by the Milwaukee Brewers. Ended up getting released by them, worked a little bit for the Jackson County Sheriff's Office, and didn't really like it, so now we're here, so I'm just trying to make differences and stuff like that, so.
Thank you.
We're having a hard time finding uniforms that fit.
Get this way, young man.
What position you play?
I was first base.
First base, right? I don't like the guy that side when I play. You should roll home play. Don't forget that, Ian.
So that's exciting, and that goes towards helping us address some of the previously discussed coverage. Right.
Yes.
First item on the new business, the discussion, consideration, and possible action regarding surplus property. You'll see a list in there of various items that we would like to liquidate if possible. And
How's this gonna be number bid again?
yes,
Well, what I want to do is put the generator on bid, I'm going to put it on put away.
Oh, okay.
It's got 751 hours on it, no batteries. I've got that report that the last, our current generator guy said what's wrong with it, basically. And then we got some old audio equipment that's in that room right there, the speakers, some wire mics, some mixers, some DVD player. Kind of, I'll probably just advertise that in the paper, house bids, sub bids, and whoever gets it. And then we got one police car, and that's the oldest one, right?
Correct.
That's one that's not even working. We're gonna take all the stuff, equipment out of that car, put it into one of the newer ones. And then we got roughly 15 tough book.
Correct.
Computers.
16
Yeah,
what?
about 15 rough, Panasonic tough books, computers that the previous administration purchased that are no longer good anymore. I mean, you can't, it costs more money to get them bought up with new cards in it and stuff like that. So we want to put them in on the auction too.
move to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Next up, discussion, consideration, and possible action regarding combat agreement. I believe Sergeant Turner worked on an agreement to renew our combat grant, and I think we actually got a little more this time than we got last time.
Just a couple minutes.
So, as everybody knows, we participate with the combat grant. Years past, excuse me, years past, we got 75 grand, which covered salary, supplies, various other different incidentals. I followed up on the grant just to make sure everything was still rolling smoothly, that we continue to have that and have an SRO in our schools, which, you know, me personally, I find that insanely valuable. I'm a big fan of SROs and the DARE program. Through doing that, I was able to get us an extra 5,000, so we're up to 80 grand now. So that will allow us, you know, put more into supplies. We can, you know, do more things for the kids, more things for the school. So that pretty much wraps that up.
Nice work. How many man-hours do we have to contribute to that program?
It's 40 hours. So it's generally speaking for SRO, it's Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 during school hours.
Okay, you're talking about the SRO program.
Correct.
This has nothing to do with following up on drug busts or anything like that?
No, this is strictly for DARE,
Okay.
for the SRO. This is school.
Very good.
Yep. Any other questions? All right.
Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right.
I'll just instruct the board members that to move into executive session, it's very important we get the motion right. So whoever wants to make the motion, if you could just please read everything after the word pursuant in page 2 of your hymnal under the action item.
Pursuant to Missouri Revised Statute 610.021 sub 3 to discuss personnel.
Yeah, so that would be, I move that we move to executive session pursuant to and the rest of that.
Move to approve.
I move to recess into executive session pursuant to Missouri Revised Statute 610.021 sub 3 to discuss personnel.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is that a roll call?
It is a roll call vote.
Alderman Butts.
Aye.
Alderman Jones.
Aye.
Alderman Alcox.
Aye.
Alderman Lewis.
Aye.
Alderman Cole. Aye.
Mr. Butts, is that a second?
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Next up, elected officials comments. Yes, sir.
I've served on the board. I stepped in for another alderman who stepped down due to personal reasons. No fault of anybody. I am hereby resigning as Ward 2 alderman, effective today. I give my full support to the board. I give my full support to the police department. It is of no ill will towards anybody. I just wanted to say thank you, board. Thank you, mayor. Thank you, chief. Thank you, Sergeant Turner, Donato. I greatly appreciate it, but at this time, I'm hereby resigning from the board of aldermen.
Anybody else have it? All right, then take a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Stand adjourned.
Good luck to you.